Hi everyone, and welcome back to another story time with me, Conversations with a Witch. My intention for these sessions are really to share with you some stories that I haven't shared on social media before. I haven't done any interviews on podcasts with these things, so it's going to be a little bit more intimate and share some things that you probably don't know about. This story starts with my fascination in past lives. Now, within my guidance medicine readings that I do on a one-to-one basis with my clients all over the world, past lives do pop in and out of these sessions. Sometimes the counsellor who I work with showing me a past life or showing me a link to something that is blocking somebody in this lifetime that normally relates to a past life. I'm also trained in past life regression, so I have done that as well in the past. And I did a few years back myself a past life regression just to see what lives that might be affecting this life. And I asked to see a life that was really impactful for this lifetime. When I did this, I was regressed back to a time of the burning times, and it was definitely in Scotland. They gave me the name of the place that I was at in Scotland, my name, which I'm going to keep private for now, but they gave me my name. They also showed me, which is like movies in my mind of little snippets of that lifetime. There's a little house that I lived in, and there in front of this house was a very definite and unique looking tree. And this tree was kind of like twisted at the base and sort of weathered and old, just very obvious in this landscape. Also, not too far from this little house that I was living in was a pool of water, and around this area was single standing big granite stones. So I was shown these little bits of the landscape. I was shown as well a few people that I'm connected to in this lifetime that I love dearly, that I was connected to in that lifetime. And obviously, in past lives, you're not always the same sex as you are now, or you might be an animal, or I've had someone as a tree, or it can be different for each past life. But in this past life that I was reading, I was definitely a woman, and I was not able to have children, but I was madly in love with this beautiful man. And this man was actually my husband in this lifetime. So, this lifetime that I was reading about was very special for me to pick up on. Now, obviously, after that, I wrote down all this information. I told my husband. So I was given dates and times. I was given where I died, how I died. My husband witnessed my death. What else was I given? Just very definite names and odd names of places, and even my name was unusual. So obviously I told my husband this afterwards, and we both sat down and we decided, oh, well, let's Google, let's see if there's anything that actually comes up in history that could relate to what I've just witnessed. And there it was. My husband found records that everything that I had said related to these records, and that the town that I picked up on has now been changed to a more modern day name. And we were really excited, and it was a lovely connection for us both. During the time of me picking up on this past life, I was starting my business as a full-time witch on social media, and I was sharing my lifestyle mainly on Instagram. I never mentioned about who I was or what I've done in a past life or anything. I kept that to myself. But slowly, these women kept coming forward. Quite a few of them were actually in my lifetime, and when I was doing Reiki healing on them and they were in a meditative state, when they'd come round from the healing, they would start telling me about things that they could see, that they were connected to me, but not in this lifetime. I also had these women that were coming from France. I've had someone from Scotland, someone from Switzerland, I've had one from America. And they'd all contact me telling me about a dream they've had, but they were telling me key things, and they were talking about this very strange tree. They were talking about a sisterhood, and they could talk about a large fire that we would gather around. Lots of them mentioned the standing stones, A few of them mentioned my actual little house that I lived in, and they felt very drawn to me and they felt really unsure to tell me this information. But I found this was absolutely beautiful because these women were remembering they were connected to me in a past life and they were finding their way back to me in this lifetime. For me personally, connecting to your past life brings forward this beautiful awareness. It brings forward healing because in this lifetime I've struggled with speaking my truth in my throat chakra. And in that lifetime, I was killed for speaking my truth and also hung around my throat. So that picks up on that trauma as well. There's obviously things that happened in this lifetime. But it also showed me some wisdom that I was doing in my witchcraft practice that I just knew just intuitively. I was just doing things that weren't taught to me by my mum or by ancestors or anything like that. This was wisdom that just flew out of me very naturally and it felt really old and wise. So it really was like the last piece of my puzzle that I needed to help me return home to myself as the witch that I am today.